Yo, so how's everyone doing today? I hope this video really helps you, and I hope it helps you with the discovery process. And I'm going to take you step by step on something that I've been trying to do in my photography journey, but also get an understanding for how I want to approach this thing. And I'm going to tell you the tips and tricks that I learned as I learned them so that you can apply them as well. So without further ado, let's get to the video. So if you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, please turn on post notifications so that we can stay connected. More like just stay connected. Like connection. So it's so important because it helps the video, it helps me, it helps you because the more content I create, the more value I can bring to your world. So, first things first, in order to get an understanding for working with brands, working with photographers, or other companies, or what they call it in business, B2B, business to business. In order to work with these larger places, you have to first be able to identify what type of photographer you are. You have to be able to identify that. It's so important. So in my case, I am a landscape photographer. So you have to figure out who needs landscape photos. And that was my first stop, right? And my biggest thing was contacting tourism companies, contacting tourism agencies, contacting travel companies. You have to contact the people that need the thing that you are offering. That's the number one thing. But more importantly, who are you as a person, right? So for me, I am someone who likes to go hiking. I am someone who likes to go camping. I like to be in the outdoors, getting some of that fresh air. That's what I enjoy. That's my jam. That's my thing. If I could do it all day, every day, I would, or at least every other week, because sometimes you do get tired and you just want to take a break. But that's what I like. So I have to contact not only those types of companies, but I also have to contact outdoor apparel companies. I have to contact shoe companies. I have to contact hat companies. I have to contact winter out. Like I have to contact people who are doing the things or who have the things that I want to do. Now, second thing to this, tip number two. When it comes to working with brands, you have to offer something. You have to already have a portfolio set up already. You have to have it. If you don't have it, it's not going to work. So, my advice, and here's a pro tip. Pro tip is take the things that you already have and do product photography with the things that you have. So, for example, if you have a brand, a clothing brand, let's just say North Face for conversation's sake. If you have a brand like North Face and you already have their clothing and you've purchased it, start taking product shots of their brand, of something that you already have, and then add it to your portfolio, right? It doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to be like someone sending you something. No, keep it simple and use what you have around you in order to get the things that you want. And that will definitely develop your portfolio because whenever you send it to potential clients and people that you want to work with, they're going to see your eye that you have developed over the amount of years that you've been working on your photography. So they're going to see that and they're going to be like, oh man, not only is his photos nice, but he can take quality shots as well. I wonder, has he actually worked with these different types of companies? Well, if he has, this is great. They should hire him. So all of those things matter, right? They truly make a difference when it comes to the end goal and in the end game. So That's tip number 2 and the pro tip with it. Reach out to these brands. Tip number 3, and this is the more important tip. I want to say that this is the tip that is probably the hardest tip to follow because it requires you to do a little bit more work. So you have to contact them. You got to contact them. And now you would think, right, the best way to contact them is by going onto their website, scrolling down to the very bottom of their page, then go into the contact us section. That does not work. It's not going to work. It's not going to get you the thing that you need. What you should do is what I have been doing. You have to go to social media. This is when social media works because they have to manage it on an everyday basis because social media is a monster within itself and it constantly changes. So they have people that are specifically designed to monitor the social media pages. So you have to curate a direct message. And your direct message can say something like, hey, my name is Jerome John. I am a freelance photographer that is coming to your local area for a trip where I'll be working with other brands, taking product shots for them. I would love to speak with you while there to work with your brand as well to create product photography to bring awareness and to bring an audience to your social media and to your brand. Boom, right? It has to be something like that. And you can send that in a direct message to these brands through Instagram, through Twitter. Send it to them. Now, here's the piece. Here's the important piece. You can't just send it to one. You have to send it to 100 and get one person to say yes. That's the secret. Send it to 100 people and get one person to say yes. Send it to 25, send it to 50, but the goal is to send it to as many people, send it to 1,000 people and get one yes. That is the goal. That is the ultimate goal out of all of this, right? That is how you get your foot in the door, okay? And so you want to, like I said, from tip number 1, you want to contact hotel brands. You want to contact tourism boards. You want to contact apparel brands. You want to contact these people based on your lifestyle, based on the things that you do, based on the things that you wear. You have to contact them. Send them a direct message. Tell them what you're offering. You have to remove the thinking out of it because if they have to think about what you do, then they don't want to work with you. So remove the thinking. Make it an easy yes instead of a slow no. That's rule number 3. Number 4, make sure that you're ready to send that email whenever they say, hey, yes, we'd love to work with you. Make sure you have an email already formulated so that whenever you send that email, make sure you have your portfolio ready. Make sure you have who you are and your media kit ready. Make sure all of these things are available and at ready on your flash drive, hard drive, so that you can attach it and then you can send it right off. Tip number 5, please make sure you have an active website. Now, unfortunately, the barrier to entry for all of this requires a couple of $100, but at the end of the day, it is worth it. Not only is it worth it, it's going to help you develop your brand, but you need it because the barrier to entry. No one's going to take you serious if you don't have a website, right? So you need a website in order for people to take you serious. And whenever they go to your website, they need to be able to see photos. They need to be able to see your portfolio. So make sure you have your social media and your website consistent so that people can see your portfolio on both. That's tip number 5. So these are the 5 tips and a pro tip that I would recommend you do. These are the things that have worked for me so far. And overall, continue to go out there and work on your craft and be somebody that you always thought you would be. But also, more importantly, We're going to talk about this in another video, but gear does matter because you need the gear in order to produce quality work. And a lot of the times you can use your phone, sure, because like the iPhone 15, for example, has a 48 megapixel camera now, and it records things in log format. Who would have thought a phone would be able to do that? But get you a phone, get you a high-end phone if you can, but more importantly, get a camera, get a quality lens. It doesn't matter which lens because the lenses are so versatile. You can learn how to use them all and they'll work for whatever it is you need them to work for. It'll develop your eye. But these are the 5 tips that I would recommend in order for you to start working with brands. These are the things that I have been using in order to at least get me an email where I can send an email with my pitch deck and media kit inside of it so I could at least start the conversation. The goal is to start the conversation, to have a conversation that's going somewhere that can benefit you and what you're doing and their brand so that they can lift up as well. So these are the goals. Everyone's out here trying to win. And trust me when I tell you, there is enough out here for everyone. You don't have to fight. You don't have to cut anybody's knees off. None of that. There's enough out here for everyone. But be safe out there. Remember to use what you have to create what you want. And I'll see you in the next one. We out. Peace. Oh, another thing. I almost forgot. So, tip number 6, which is a top tier tip, top of the line tip, just out of the frame, top tier situation. Don't always talk to these companies looking for money. Please don't talk to them looking for money. I promise you, you'll go farther. In my experience, talking to people directly about money without first building a relationship will ruin your relationship to start with, okay? It's about value proposition. They don't even know the value that you bring before you start talking to them about thousands of dollars. So my suggestion is to do something for free first before you start talking about money. And it's not always going to be about the money. It's not always going to be money. Check me out. What if a hotel company says, hey, how about we don't typically pay this type of price for content creation? And you can respond and say, not a problem. How about this? I'll come do the content creation. And whenever I come, you let me stay in the hotel. And you put the hotel under my name. That'll give you the opportunity to develop points within that hotel region or within that hotel branch or within that hotel franchise. Then you can take those points, and whenever you're traveling to a different location, you now have points to use at the hotel of that franchise, and you will basically be staying for free. Or if you're working with an apparel brand and they need products done, take photos of their products and they can send you free stuff. Remember, one of the tips was work with brands that you're actually going to use. So because I'm an outdoor brand, I wouldn't reach out to Louis Vuitton for anything. Not Louis Vuitton, if you see this, I'm willing to work with you for sure. But there's no reason for me to look for Louis Vuitton first whenever I can go work with a different outdoor brand company like Patagonia first. Does that make sense? So don't always look for the money. Look for the relationship. You can go further with the relationship because then, for conversation's sake, you take the content that you made for them, you take the portfolio that you've built for them, you take the relationship that you've built with them, you take all of the experience that you've gained with them, the creativity of working with this brand, and you take all of those things, you package it up in a nice little package, boom, boom, package, and then you transfer it to the next brand that you want to work with. You transfer it to the next thing that you want to involve yourself with, your next passion project. You can just simply transfer it. And then whenever you transfer it, that's when you are more equitable. That's when you can say, oh, here's my value proposition. These are the things that I've done. Now you can start to ask for some money. But first, don't look for money, do it for free so you can build and add value. So, yeah, That was the pro tip. That's it. We're out.